Hello everybody, welcome back. C-Ray Sim Flying here, and I have got some updates for y'all from the Cessna simulator I've been building. So if you remember last time, I had kind of been working through a proof of concept and was doing a lot of testing on flight controls and getting everything configured. And I've kind of made some small updates, nothing too crazy, but it all is going to work out at the end because I've really learned quite a bit about flight simulation, especially cockpit building. So to start, you'll notice that I've updated the flight control setup a little bit. I mounted the yoke and throttle mixture setup along with a brake inside of a cigar box. I finished the configuration of I guess this is like the power and lights panel. And I still haven't built out the G1000, mini G1000s yet, so I'm still using tablets, but they're working really good. Also, I added a new PC to the mix to run my primary display. So this is a Intel i9 7940X. It's like 14 cores or something crazy. It's not necessarily the absolute best thing, but it pushes over 40 frames per second, so I'm happy. Running an RX 588 gig. This is the GTS XXX edition. Not really overclocking, I'm just running it stock. And I've only got 16 gigs of RAM in this, so I need to add a little bit more memory because it kind of chokes out. So I've got that as my primary rig, and I got all the controls set up through there. And then I've got two secondary rigs, one to run my left and right side monitor. The right side monitor here is being controlled by this PC, which is got a 5600X, an RX 6750 XT, and 64 gigs of RAM. And that's running my right hand side and also the two pop-up panels. And everything's pretty consistent. This one's running about 36 to 40 frames per second, and it's about average between all of them about that. I definitely stay over 30 frames per second. Everything's been looking really good and working really good. And then also this week I built some very rudimentary rudder pedals. So these are just running off of a simple potentiometer, and I'm using a Arduino Pro Micro. I wrote up a sketch to just control this one potentiometer for the rudders. And if you look, it's a pretty simple setup. So I've got a potentiometer mounted under here, and I'm running some old Cat5 cable to wire it. And then I just took a piece of wood, and I've got kind of like a little joint here, and then it connects to the right side of these pedals. So if I back up a little bit, got them all spring loaded, you'll see when I move this it turns the potentiometer. And these work pretty good. They're real little sensitive, and I have not had a setup with rudder pedals yet, so it's been taking a little, or it's been hard to get used to at first, but I'm starting to slowly get a little bit better control in the plane this way. And it's just really one more step closer to getting this fully completed. Because you'll notice that outside of the physical buttons on the MFD and the PFD, that I pretty much got everything else. I do need to still build the lower panel and get the ignition all set up, but so far so good. And one of the things I really enjoy about this setup is I was able to utilize, I would say, most of the methods, excluding the Bodner boards, on how you can get flight controls configured. So like I said, I'm running, so this light panel here and power panel is running all through an Arduino Mega, and then I'm using Mobiflight to configure all of this. Down here I've got the rudder pedals set up through an Arduino Pro Micro, and then I've got an actual sketch configured for that. And then for the flight controls for the rudder, for the yoke and the throttle mixture setup, that's actually using a USB encoder that I hacked to be able to use potentiometers. So I've done videos on those before. If you guys have any questions on how to do that, feel free to ask. I'm going to slowly pull this out, then I'll pop the top so you guys can actually see what's going on inside. It's kind of a mess right now because I just got everything configured, but it's been really working out well. Okay. So if you notice, this is just a big cigar box. Was full of Corojo number 5s. So you'll see over here I've got this all wired up. This is the Mobiflight setup. So I've got that run into one of these Elegoo Mega 2650s. And I'm running 4 potentiometers in the back. I've got the 7 lower switches, the 2 double switch setups, and then the single switch on the top. And then we'll see if we can open this. I've got the tablets in it, so I'd be careful that they don't fall out or anything crazy. But this is still on its hinges. So I can just pop this up like this. And then you'll see inside of here, I've got my USB encoder, and that's running the throttle mixture setup. These are on slide potentiometers. I've got the yoke setup here. This is just running on regular potentiometers, which are also connected into the USB encoder. I've got a pause button over here that I added. And if we come over here, you'll see the Pro Micro, and this is what's controlling the rudder pedals. I've got a little USB hub and kind of got a little bit of dust from drilling holes in it and everything, but yeah, I just mounted this brake. This is a cool little switch. It's a headlight switch from a golf cart, I believe. I got a 3-pack of them really cheap on Amazon. I'll have links in the description for everything if you're interested in building this out yourself. But yeah, it's pretty slick. I love it. It was very affordable. I mean, I 3D printed all the parts myself. Switches and these boards are all pretty cheap. I believe I got a 3-pack of the Pro Micros for like 20 bucks. I spent under $20 for the Leonardo board that I just bought. Actually, I got some more over here, some more test stuff I've been working on. This is a little test panel that I was using to learn Mobiflight and play with Arduino. But yeah, all this stuff was pretty cheap, and it all went together pretty well. And ideally, I'm going to either make a box specifically for this so I can house everything, and then that way also too, I've kind of got a back to the light switch panel. And then I need to do a little bit better centering for my monitors. I really wanted to bring the switch panel in closer, but the problem is when I built this, I didn't take in consideration that this is likely to scale while the rest of it is smaller. So if I move this over, I think it's just going to end up looking kind of weird. So for now, I'm just going to leave it. But that's what I got so far. I plan on adding in some brake mechanisms to these rudder pedals. This build was very easy, but it's like I said, there's definitely room for improvement. If you wanted to build this yourself, I can give you a quick list of what you would need. I just used 3/4 inch plywood. I believe this is 5/8 on the top, this part here. This is just diamond foam workout mats that I cut up. This is a dollar store cutting board that I cut and drilled, and this is just to provide I didn't want the wood rub against each other. They just kind of slide on top of this cutting board here. And then the rest of it is just kind of scraps. The bolts and screws and springs and everything I got at Harbor Freight. You can buy the little packs, little clear tote boxes full of them. And then from there, like I said, I just hooked it up to the Pro Micro and was off to the races. Now, I will say it was a bit interesting. I had to learn the joystick library, get that all configured. I tried to use Mobiflight. I just couldn't get it working. So at some point I'll get that going. So I wanted to be able to configure full flight controls through each of the variants. So do the USB encoder, full setup, do a Pro Micro full setup, using Arduino sketches, and then even try to do one utilizing all the facets that Mobiflight offers. But yeah, I think that's it for me today for the updates. I just wanted to get everybody in the mix and show you what I've been up to. I know I've been away for a little while, but I've been pretty focused on my truck simulator and kind of bouncing back and forth. And with summer, you know, we all get pretty busy. But I hope everyone enjoyed. I hope everybody, this gives everybody some cool ideas for ways to build their simulators. And I look forward to hearing everybody's feedback. That's going to be it for me today. I hope everybody enjoys. And as always, safe flying.